So, you were saying, and this is very interesting, you said that people are into themselves and wanting to do something for themselves, but
Yeah.
also that they should be out into the world and thinking of the world. So, in a way, we are talking about the purpose. Uh, so, do you personally feel or face this, that if you go after your own personal well being, do you feel that this helps the world, or do you feel that then you are going against?
I feel like it helps the world.
Yeah.
There comes a point where you have to check in with yourself and ask yourself, am I aligned with who am I aligned with the purpose? And some people don't even know what their purpose is, and that's fine because I think it's always evolving. Everybody has an essence and they always have a mission and what they're really meant to do. And there's always, and for example, for me, it's always been tied to the arts and bringing beauty into the world. I sing. I love to speak and I love to inspire people. I work in fashion right now, and that's also creative. And I feel like I've always been in that track and that world. And as long as I'm doing something that has to do with that, I'm on it. But then I'm also like, you know what? I need to take a step back and really check in with myself and see, am I doing too much of this? Am I doing too much of that? And when I'm in those states and I'm able to come back into the world, that's great. I feel like if you're in it for too long, you're always going to be like, oh, I need to heal, I need to heal, I need to heal, and that's never going to take you anywhere either. So there really is a fine balance between the two, being able to know when to step back and when to be in the game.
You were talking about because you sing, and that is one
Yeah.
of the things we haven't really touched upon enough in this podcast. But
Hmm.
you are your voice is so divine. It's so beautiful to listen to you. And
Uh-huh.
then when you went to college which was for voice, you felt boxed in, which is just the opposite of what you want a voice to do. You want to find your voice, and you were not able to. So
Mm-mm.
how do you feel? Did that impact, like leaving the college, let's say, because you at that time felt that that was the right thing to do. Did that affect your voice? Did it make
Absolutely,
it more open
absolutely.
or more closed?
More closed. So for the ones who are watching who don't know my story, I've been in the performing arts for the past 11 years. I went to performing arts high school in Miami, and I was doing musical theater. I was doing all different kinds of art, acting, singing, dancing. But my strength has always been in singing. So I was classically trained as an opera singer, and I got accepted into go to a conservatory for a year, college, and it was in Boston. And I did not have a good experience. It was the training was extremely rigorous, which you would expect from the conservatory, but it was just it was too much for me. And I felt like that I felt like my professors and my peers and everything that I was experiencing was trying to make me be an artist or be somebody that I wasn't. I remember in my voice lessons, instead of when you sing and when you take your lessons, the point of those lessons is to be able to better understand your voice, to open your voice, to find new techniques and new ways of expressing something. And I felt like I was constantly falling behind. And I ended up feeling defeated, and I ended up leaving feeling super untalented because I was never as competent as my other peers. I've also never been like an A plus student. I've always been like more of like an A minus or B student, which is actually fine in my opinion, because you don't need to be the perfect student. But I've always been very passionate about what I did, and I've always been good when it comes to the arts and performing. But when it came to music theory and like small details, I've always been like, this is too much for me. And because I wasn't as competent as my peers, I felt I couldn't sing. Like I really couldn't sing. Like I was singing for assignments and I had to sing on stage and be this person that I wasn't, and I couldn't find my own voice at all. So going back to your question, absolutely. It did keep me boxed in and didn't allow me to express myself the way that I am meant to express myself, which I'm still figuring out till this day. I'm not perfect and never will be perfect, but it's an ongoing journey. Yes.
Yeah, so this aspect of trying to find yourself, finding your voice, which is not only a physical voice, but also it's a metaphor for finding what you want to express, how you want to express it. Do you feel, what do you find easy and what do you find difficult about that?
About
Being able to
expressing
express
myself?
yourself, yes.
What do I find difficult about expressing myself?
Yes.
In terms of music or in
For
terms of everyday life?
in any way, for example, would you say that you find it easier to express yourself in writing, in singing, in on social media, or when you're with people your age, or with people of different ages? Because I know you interact with people of different ages.
Hmm.
So where do you find it easier to be able to express yourself?
I find it easier when I'm talking to people and when I'm writing. So I also love writing. I like English composition has always been like that one subject in school that I always excelled. So I love writing, and I find that I'm able to express my soul through writing, but I'm able to express myself when I'm talking to people of similar interests. When I'm talking to you, like when I talk to Meenakshi, like we have these conversations sometimes that like I don't even know where they come from. Like we talked about the age gap, but it's just so easy to talk to you for some reason. I can't even talk with my own family, my own grandmother like that sometimes. So like Meenakshi's like she's like my soul grandma, just so you know. Anyway, but yes, and when it comes to my art and when it comes to singing, for example, really singing is the expression of the soul, because a lot of people think that when you sing, it comes from here, but it doesn't actually come from here. It comes from like down here. It starts like in your diaphragm. It starts deep in your gut, and everything, the voice kind of comes through this tunnel, and this is the tunnel that's leading the voice out. So when you're singing like an operatic piece or a classical piece, and it's a beautiful, like every song is based off of like a poem, or it's a piece of writing, it's a piece of text that you give life to and you shape through sound. So for me, that has always been the ultimate expression. That's how I feel. I feel grounded and I feel connected to myself and to divine, to source, to spirit when I'm singing. But in everyday life, it always is like having a conversation, talking about something I'm passionate about, or writing. It's all those three combined in different forms. Yes.
I think, it's interesting when you said that we can talk to one another. And one of the things that you were saying, and so I'm going to come to it, is that who is the person inside you? Because I remember my mother once telling us, and of course for us, she was like, we were kids and she's a grown up and an old person. And she said, I know to you all I seem old, but to me, I'm 16.
Oh,
And
really? Oh,
it was such a intriguing and a very sweet moment, which I just never forget. And I
wow.
realized that maybe inside me, when I was a child, I always felt very much more grown up than I must have looked, you know. So when people say old, I could never understand why people mind being old. To me, being old is the best thing you could be, because I felt you could be more powerful. Because then you could be you. Because when you're a child, everyone treats you like you're just a child. And that's something related to what you were saying before the podcast, Sophia.
Yeah.
So for you, do you have an age inside you, or do you have a feeling inside you that you feel others are not always able to see?
What we were talking about with Meenakshi before was how I'm 22, and I I feel that I have like, how do I like, my soul, I always feel like a kid. I'm very in tune with my inner child, and when I am doing the work that I love, that inner child comes out so effortlessly. I'm always playful. I love kids. I adore kids. I love working with kids. But at the same time, I also have this thing where I feel like I'm not taken seriously. So I work in fashion right now. I work as a stylist and also a brand ambassador for a company here in Miami. And Sometimes I feel like I'm not taken seriously. Like I'm very excited and I'm very playful and I want to share my ideas. But then when I do, I feel like, oh, you're so young. You have so much time. You don't even know what you're talking about sometimes. Like, I say something and then people just laugh and they're like, ha ha ha. Because I am the age that I am, and in their eyes, because of their experiences and what they believe, their programming, everything, they see me as, oh, she has so much to learn. We'll just kind of move on, things like that. And then I feel like, wait a second, it's like, but I also have, I have valuable things to add and I have valuable things to say. And I think that my ideas could also work and could also, help and shape things. So I do feel very young, but at the same time, I also feel like I have a lot of wisdom for my age. And I also have a certain maturity that not a lot of people might have as well, my age. And that is kind of like the paradox within me. It's like I feel very young, but at the same time, I want to be taken seriously. So I'm like, what am I really playing at here? If I feel very young, maybe that's why I'm treated like that. Or, I don't even know. I'm just saying what I feel, right? But that's how I feel. Yeah.